is the matter with me? Why can I not stick to a budget for more than 2 or 3 weeks? Have you ever said that before or thought it? I bet you have. You guys, this video is all about the #1 reason why we continually screw up our budgets and give up, quite frankly. So if you're excited about this, give this video a like and we're gonna dig right in. It is a beautiful day out, and so I wanted to do something a little bit different, just quickly film a video and go outside. But I hope the last 30 seconds inspired you to grab something enjoyable to drink and that we can just have a little chat this morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Katy Almstrom. I am your money coach, and this channel is for all things budgets and behavior with your money. What I want to talk about today is what I've discovered is really the way that people screw up their budgets the most. If you're excited about learning what is probably causing you to start and stop a budget time after time again, go ahead and give a like and we're gonna dig right in. So when you first start budgeting, it kind of feels like, I don't know, you're going on a diet, or you're starting a new exercise routine, or you're trying to get up early, you're trying to sleep more, you're trying to stop watching as much TV. Like, there's always this sense of restriction or massive change. That is a really challenging mindset to have when you try to develop a new habit, especially something that is meant to change your life forever. If you are just starting out and you are wanting to create better habits with your money, you want to know where every dollar is going, you're excited to change, and you go to start putting a budget together, I want you to think about a few things. We need to really be aware of what the priority is in our lives right now. For some people, starting out a fresh new budget, they might really need to continue to put extra focus on their marriage, or there might be something going on with their kids, their extended family. There might be something going on that requires some resources. So what I see is that you'll put together this ideal budget where everything has its name, right? Every dollar has a job, like I teach, and it looks great. And it's sort of this idyllic month that you plan ahead. And then what happens is something comes up where you intuitively feel that money should be spent in this place. Let's say, for example, you and your spouse decide you go out to dinner. You need to have a specific conversation. You want to spend some quality time together. An opportunity presents itself where you have some kid-free time, and you have this nagging feeling in your gut that it wasn't the right way to spend money. You're trying to justify it to yourself. Your spouse is trying to justify it, and you just have this sense of screw up when really what you were doing was intuitively listening to what you needed, what your family needed, what your psyche needed. And so you spent money where your priorities lay, but it hadn't made it into the budget, and so now you feel like you screwed up your budget, you ruined your budget. So I want you to give yourself some patience and some grace the first 90 days that you budget, because it takes some time for us to objectively look at a budget and write down the numbers that we think we know, and then to observe our emotional attachment to how we spend money and patterns and habits that we might not even really be aware of that come up when we actually start tracking where we put our dollars. If you have done this before, or if you felt this way before, where you put together a perfect budget, it's beautiful, and if you just stick to it, everything will be great. And then 2 or 3 weeks in, you screw up. You spend money somewhere that you didn't plan it. It felt right and it felt natural and it felt needed, but it didn't align with your budget. So you questioned yourself. You questioned your judgment. You second guessed everything that you had put in the budget, felt bad about spending money, felt like a failure because you screwed up the budget. All of these feelings of shame and embarrassment and frustration because, right, you've done it again. You need to realize that that's normal. We are not 100% able to forecast what's going to happen in a month, and it's okay to follow our gut and follow our intuition. And another piece of this too is that if you are actively working towards a goal, like saving money or paying off debt, it can feel selfish to want to spend money on something a little bit more luxurious or something fun or something that inspires you. But here's the thing, when you budget and when you are paying off debt and when you are creating habits that will give you financial freedom and confidence with your money down the road and in the future, you have to make it sustainable, even when you're paying off debt. And yes, I am a Ramsey preferred coach. I do believe in gazelle intensity, but I also believe in sanity. I believe in compromise with your spouse. I believe in encouraging each other and supporting each other. You may need to take a step back and ask yourself, what is it that is going to make me most successful? And have that conversation with your spouse. What is it that's going to make you most successful on this journey? If your whole reason for getting out of debt and learning to be smart with your money and learning how to budget month in and month out, if the whole reason of that is to have harmonious family life, freedom of choice when it comes to vacation and how you work and doing wonderful things for your children, if that is why you're learning how to budget and you sacrifice all of that family togetherness and sense of inspiration and fun and happiness while you're getting there, I think we're missing the point. Now, I'm not saying go to Disney while you're paying off debt, but I am saying we need to be aware of what the priorities are. We need to be aware of why we're doing what we're doing, and that can still be part of our livelihood. If this is ringing true for you, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up or a comment below. I want you to be able to trust yourself. I want you to be able to trust your judgment about what actually is important right now. We all deep down intuitively know what is important and what we shouldn't be spending on right now. Without really listening to that judgment, you're not going to have that wiggle room for when those things do come up. And so there's a lot of ways to build in that wiggle room, but the budget is just a plan for your money. And if you want to plan for something unexpected that you're going to want to make a decision on in the moment, then let's build that in. Okay, so let's say you do completely identify with this problem that I'm talking about. What are some good next steps for you? So I would start by sitting down and just dumping out everything that really matters to you on paper. What are the most important things in your life right now? It might be family or certain hobbies or time with your friends, something special you're doing for yourself, a business venture, whatever it is that is just lighting you up right now. Write it down on paper. This should be a fun activity, right? So what are all the amazing things in your life right now that you're excited about? I want you to think about how have you invested time, money, or energy into each of those things. Then we're going to think about how much money do I plan to spend on each of these things in the coming month. So it's May. I'm filming on May 2nd. You may choose to spend some money for Mother's Day for a woman in your life, or if there's a graduate, a college graduate, a high school graduate in May or June and you want to set some money aside for that. So what are some ways that you may want to spend money on your priorities, your personal priorities in May? I want us to think of our budget as this is the plan for what we get to spend our money on. What are we excited to spend money on this month? As well as what is our duty to spend money on this month? Getting everything out on one budget. And then at the end of May or 3 weeks into May, if you have screwed up because you missed something, we need to figure out a way to build it in next time. Or we need to look at how did we, where did we miss this? What part of our priority list does this investment, does this use of money fall under? And why did we underestimate what we needed to spend? Now, if you find that you are overspending in ways that you really don't feel good about, you intuitively know that you shouldn't have spent in that way, then that's a whole nother conversation. But I do want you to be aware of the budget being a place for what do we have to spend money on and what do we get to spend money on. Hey, if all of this is really resonating with you and you're thinking, gosh, I would really love to actually figure out why my budget hasn't been working for me or why I haven't been able to be successful planning my money, go ahead and click the link below to set up some time to chat with me. I've developed a brand new intensive 8-week program for women where we are really going to dig into these issues that I talked about today and figure out once and for all how to put together a sustainable budget that works for you, that allows you to live your priorities and your happy life, as well as make progress on your goals, and how to discern what really is important to put in your budget and where we need to sort of take out the scalpel for now to make progress on your goals. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you would like to work with me in more of a one-on-one space, go ahead and click on the link, and you'll be able to set up a time to chat with me for 10 or 15 minutes to see if you're a good fit. Okay, well that's it for today. If your May budget isn't done yet, get it done, guys, and remember to give yourself some grace this month as you figure things out. I've got some links below in the description for how I do my budget every month, sinking funds and emergency funds. And hey, this video dropped on my birthday, so leave me a note below if you would. That would be awesome to hear from you. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.